Yo, what's up, sports bettors? I'm going to be running you through 6 player props, and we're going to be looking at this platform called Parlay. So it's kind of like a new Prize Picks competitor. And basically, the way this platform works is any 6 picks you select, doesn't matter if you take overs, unders, you're getting this payout. You go 6 for 6, 25x payout. 5 for 6, 2.5x payout. So the first thing before you start, gambling, betting a lot of money on parlay play, I say this all the time, but is you need to understand, okay, how do I beat this platform? And basically, if you take parlay play's payouts, which I did right here, so this is just, their payout structure for one of these 6 pick entries, what you can do is you can back out what percentage of my picks do I need to win to be profitable? And the answer is 53.227%. And I'll include this spreadsheet in the description. But what this means is if you have no advantage, let's say you have 0 advantage, you don't know anything about sports betting, you're only going to be able to get these over-unders correctly, right? Like Nolan Arenado, what's his name? I don't know. But this guy's always going to go over or under, right? So if you have no advantage, you're only going to be able to win these 50% of the time. So if you're only winning 50% of your picks, in other words, you have no advantage, you're going to lose money on parlay play. Your ROI is going to be negative 26%. You're going to get destroyed, right? So really all you're looking for, all you got to do to beat this platform is find an advantage. And by that, I mean find player props that are winning above 53.22% of the time. So how do we do that? So what you do is you look at sports books, right? You turn to sports books. So typically the tool I start out on is right here. It's called the Positive EV tool. And I highly recommend, education's everything in sports betting. You want to make money sports betting. We have tons of content, about positive EV betting, the math behind it, stuff like that. But basically, because this platform has fixed payouts, they're not varying your payout based on you selecting over or under. And this platform's available in almost every U.S. state. So California, Texas, Florida, you have access to this platform, Parlay Play. Highly recommend signing up, but you're going to see they're not changing your payout based on you selecting over and under. So all you want to do is find spots, right, to win over 53.22% of your picks. You just want to find spots where sports books have one side heavily favored. So you're going to see Jack Eichel, his under, is heavily favored on all the sports books. Pinnacle, which is known to be the sharpest bookmaker out there, they have his under at minus 137. So all these books are data points, right? As a sharp bettor, we're always following the data. These sports books have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their ability to set lines, and they're all telling you the same thing. Hey, he's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over, right? So we're just using sportsbook odds to find an advantage. Again, this is just the math behind parlay play. You want to make money on this fixed payout platform, all you got to do is win over 53.22% of your picks. Right? What parlay play assumes is most people don't have an advantage. So if you don't have an advantage, you're only going to be able to get these correctly 50% of the time. That's how parlay play, that's how they make money. They know most sports bettors are clueless, don't have an advantage, and are only going to be able to win their picks 50% of the time below 53.22. So they're going to lose money, right? But anyways, so we turn to sports books. In the same way, you can see tonight, the Heat are favored, right? The Heat are pretty big favorites. They're minus 173. The sports books, the market, is telling you Miami's more likely to win against the Knicks, right? If that weren't the case, if the Knicks were more likely to win, then you should be hammering them at plus money, right? But of course, that's not the case. The Heat are more likely to win. The Heat are above 50% to win. Sports books have them favored, right? So it's no different here. We're following the data, right? As data-driven sports bettors, everything's baked into the market. A lot of people will be like, oh, you didn't talk about his last 5 games. It's baked into the market. You didn't talk about his last 10 games. It's baked into the market. Any public information is baked into the prices, the odds that sportsbooks are putting out. So my first play, long story short, is Jack Eichel under 3.5 shots on goal. All the books have his under heavily favored. Then you can see there's some more plays, right? There can be value in the MLB, NHL, whatever, right? I'm just showing you guys what I'm putting my own money on, where I'm finding value. In Jake Irvin, over 3.5 strikeouts. All the books have the over heavily favored, so this is a sharp player prop bet to include in your parlay play entry because, again, it's this simple. There's no magic. You're just trying to find player props winning above 53.22% of the time. There's no magic bullet for beating parlay play. It's really simple. If you're able to win 55% of your over-under, so if you can get these correctly, these over-unders correctly, let's say 55% of the time, you're winning 55% of your picks, you're only losing 45, your ROI is going to be positive, 17%. This is the only number that matters. What percentage of your picks can you win? So Jake Irvin, all the books have his over 3.5 strikeouts as a pretty big favorite. PointsBet minus 140. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker out there, minus 136. Embiid, under 3.5 assists. All books have his under favored, right? So the Odds Jam positive EV tool is pretty simple. All it does is it goes to parlay play, right? Most of these plays aren't profitable. To be very clear, most plays on parlay play aren't profitable. But what OddsJam is doing is it's scanning all of these lines and then just pointing out those few rare betting opportunities like Eichel, where parlay play is just giving you too much value because the sports books have the under so heavily favored around minus 140, right? So another tool that I use to find some value on parlay play, first we looked at, the positive EV tool. That was the first one we looked at right here. Is I look at the fantasy screen, Fantasy Optimizer. So again, you can use this tool for parlay play, underdog, prize picks. There's value on all these platforms, right? Sometimes parlay play has better bets. Sometimes it's prize picks. Sometimes it's underdog fantasy. Sometimes it's fliff, right? The more sports books you have, the better. Because all these books, right? All these books set lines independently, right? So sometimes here you can see this play is on prize picks. It's also on parlay play, but sometimes, a lot of the time, that bet isn't going to be available on every platform. So you can see for Jake Irvin, this is available on prize picks. It's also on parlay play, but it's not on underdog fantasy, right? So if you only use underdog, you're missing out on this profitable bet. More sports books means more profitable betting opportunities as a sharp sports bettor. So anyways, what this Fantasy Optimizer does is very similar, right? So it's just reading in odds from sports books and telling you the win probability. So you're going to see right here, like if we look at the sports books, just as an example, you're going to see this play on Jack Eichel, right? So this play is above 53.22% to win. It's 54.19% to win. According to the sports books, all the books have his under heavily favored. So the under is the favored outcome. We know the under is over 50% to hit, right? The books have the under favored. You know the under is the more likely outcome. The under is over 50% to hit. But what this tool does is it just quantifies that win probability. So you're just looking for the plays on parlay play that are winning over 53.22% of the time. And all those plays are just highlighted in green on the OddsJam screen, right? So another thing you're going to notice is we recently added this in. This is called half point calculations. So long story short, if you look at, let's just say Bam assists, right? So you're going to see Bam, his line is minus 230 on FanDuel for over 2.5 assists. His over 3.5 assists is at plus 112. So what this does, right, this new round number betting tool on OddsJam that we integrated, half point calculations, is all it does is it uses these alternate lines, these alternate markets to price bets. So what I mean by that is the only difference between over 2.5 and over 3.5 is that Bam has exactly 3 assists. So his over 3.0 assists, right, if you consider a round number, so here you can see a round number. So if you consider a round number, his 3.0 assists would be priced at the midpoint, which would be around, minus 170. So Bam's over 3.0 would be about minus 170 odds on FanDuel, and you're just taking the midpoint of the 2.5 and the 3.5 to see that, right? You just take the midpoint in the odds, right? That's what the over 3.0 would be priced at. So what the fantasy screen does is it just uses these half point calculations to help you find profitable bets on prize picks, on parlay play, on whatever. Right, so as an example, you can see for Alex Petrolengo, his line is 2 on prize picks. The sports books have him at 2.5, right? But the jump from 2 to 2.5 is a pretty big jump because if he has exactly 2 shots on goal, we're going to push on parlay play. Anyone who bets this on a sports book is going to lose, right? If you take the over 2.5 and he has 2 shots on goal, you're going to lose. Whereas on parlay play, you would push, right? So essentially this tool just kind of backs out, right? What would the over 2.0 shots on goal be? And the 2.0 shots on goal would just be the midpoint of the odds for the over 1.5 and the over 2.5. That's all it is, right? So long story short, I got 6 player props, all of them found on this positive EV tool. I mean, the strategy for beating parlay play, there's nothing complicated. Win your picks over 53.22% of the time, you'll be profitable. So I have Embiid under 3.5 assists, Robinson under 9 rebounds, Curry over 35.5 points plus assists. So I found this play on the fantasy screen as well. So just fantasy optimizer. And then we have Irvin over 3.5 Ks, Randall over 9.5 rebounds, Eichel under 3.5 shots on goal. So 6 picks to win 1,500 on parlay play. Hopefully this video was helpful. Let's make some money.